All right, let's do this. We got Big Bats and Hardwood. We're going to start with our 2-game NBA slate. We got a 9-game baseball slate, and I got the superstars here, BigT and JSU, joining me on, what is it, Tuesday already? My God, this week is just get here ready Sunday. Let's go. Let's get through this and have some football on Sunday, and I'm ready to go. But there's still money to be made, boys. What's up, Big T? You're looking at this NBA slate. Well, give us a little overview here, big broad brush.
Yeah, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the NBA here. We got all the series have gotten a little more interesting from like a week ago. I mean, obviously the Giannis, the Heat series, I mean, they could have got swept when Giannis got hurt, but they dug deep, got a W. And now tonight, you just don't know if he's going to play. But if they can somehow win tonight, all of a sudden all the pressure's back on Miami to get back in this series. So, and then both series in the West have been good, way better than I expected. And I think Boston will close it down. But even that series is 3-2 when it looked like a whitewash early on. So we got some good things, a couple good successful showdown slates. I'm excited to do more and more showdown content on this new site that's going to be up hopefully Thursday. Everybody should be able to check that out on Thursday. But the more showdown stuff we get in, the more game theory we can dive in, the more screen sharing we can dive in. We got a lot of exciting things coming.
Good. JSU, let's get to you, buddy. By the way, hit the like button. JSU will come up with a number halfway through the show, so some of you can get some swag, or one of you can get some swag. So hit that like button down there. It's not tough to do. Hey, JSU, your thoughts on the slate tonight, but first, tell me how you're dealing with Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, this slate's going to be real interesting with, I don't know, like Giannis news. I don't want to play Giannis. I don't know if he plays. Like, if he plays, then it just changed the lineup construction a little bit. But I think we've got some decent value on the Lakers. I think if McGee doesn't play, which he didn't play, I think the second half of that game or something like that, or most of the second half. So if he doesn't play, then we get some value opened up there. That's a little better. So it's going to be interesting. You know, I'm happy to talk it out and talk the baseball slate after. It should be fun.
All right, let's do this. And we'll start with Miami and Milwaukee there. Big T. So you got Crowder and Hero, and of course every game Olynyk is questionable, and Giannis is questionable too. So maybe you could start with that Milwaukee side. Your feelings on Giannis tonight, what kind of exposure you'd have there. Start us off with Milwaukee, and then go over to the Miami side.
Yeah, so it's a little tough to do this show right now, just because the whole slate's going to swing if he's officially declared out. Like, you just almost have to play these Milwaukee guys. But that brings the game theory in a little bit, and they're going to be super popular. And I think they might get blown out this game either way, whether he plays or definitely if he sits, I think they get blown out. They caught Miami a little off guard last game. Like, Giannis was in, Giannis was crushing. And then he got hurt. They're up 3-0, so there's not that much motivation. They think they're just going to coast and win it in the fourth. And then Milwaukee just plays great. Middleton was awesome, and they win. But I don't think they get that lucky tonight. Miami wants to end this. They don't want it to be 3-2. Just from what I said, it's going to be interesting if they let it get to 3-2. I don't think they let Giannis play. This is just my opinion. He could play. Everybody saw the video of him walking into the building. He wasn't really limping. I think, honestly, he wants to play. I also think they're just going to tell him you're not playing. They're going to protect him a little bit. But, like I said, that's my opinion. If they say he's playing, he's playing. I'm not going to play him either way, so it's easy for me. And, honestly, I don't want to play these other guys as much either. Like, Middleton is priced up a little bit on FanDuel, these guys are a little cheaper and easier to fit too. So I should clarify that on DK, I'm talking mainly like Brook Lopez, 6K, Bledsoe, 62, Middleton, 86. I think those are fair prices in a blowout spot where Miami might just end this and play good defense. The guys I would look at, though, are the same guys that I looked at last game, like George Hill, Dante, Marvin, and that's probably it, those three guys. So as far as Milwaukee, I want to hear what JSU says, but I'm kind of ignoring more than the field, I think.
What do you think, JSU? Milwaukee.
Well, I'm not surprised that Tony thinks that this game either way could end in a blowout, because Tony doesn't have much respect for Milwaukee. He never did. So that makes a lot of sense. He stays true to what he believed in the beginning, which I can respect. I think that this game also, though, has huge blowout risk. I'm with him today. I think what happened last game was Giannis went out. I think Giannis was like crushing too before he went out, honestly. So when Giannis went out, we all, me included, who didn't roster him, I took a nice deep breath saying, all right, I'm back in this. I'm back in this now that I didn't have him. So I got lucky there. But this is the case. Chris Middleton was hitting everything. And I think Miami probably thought when Giannis went out, oh, we got this game. It's in the bag. They won't know what to do. And Middleton just came out and put it on him. There's no way Jimmy Butler is going to come back in this game and just say, you know what, Chris, we're just going to let you get to your spots. We're going to give you all the mid-range jumpers you're looking for. You even saw it at the end of the game. Jimmy Butler did an amazing job on one possession at the very end of the game where Middleton, like 3 different times, tried to give him head fakes to get to the middle of the floor. And they were just keeping him left, and they forced him right into an eventual double team. And I think they called like a second timeout what happened, but they got lucky because they could have easily turned the ball over. I think you see a better defensive plan for Chris Middleton if Giannis is out. So that takes him off the board for me at 8,600. If he puts up 60 at 8,600 in this game, in this matchup, I'll just shake my head and be like, all right, I lost probably because I'm not going to play him. On FanDuel, it's a little different because he's, obviously different price, but I'm still just going to take a stand and fade him. Now, Brook Lopez and Bledsoe, if you think this game's going to stay close, then I think you should play one or both of these guys because I think these are the 2 guys that would have to step up in order, along with maybe 1 or 2 of the cheap guys that Tony mentioned, Dante, Marvin, along with 1 or 2 of those guys. I think those are the guys around Chris Middleton that would have to have big games in order for this game to stay close. If it did stay close, I would love Bam on the other side. He'd be my other play. You saw it when Giannis went out, what happened instantly. Bam got offensive rebounds whenever he wanted to. They could not defensively rebound the ball because Brook Lopez is not a good rebounder. And Bam's just so good at it. And it also came down to pick and roll. They got to the hoop. They were lobbing the ball up to Bam. There was no one with a presence to stop them when they would do the pick and roll, and Bam would roll hard to the rim. There was no one to, come over and stop the rim defense. So if this game were to stay close, I think it's the secondary pieces from Milwaukee, like Tony said, the cheap guys in Bledsoe and Brook, and Bam. I think Bam is like the best play on the slate if this game stays close. The problem is I think Miami crushes them. So I think that you're going to want maybe the secondary Heat guys, the Tyler Heroes. I wouldn't mind. He's still at a decent price, 5,300. Jay Crowder's kind of getting to my limit where, yeah, he could probably give you 30 today, even in a blowout. He's been shooting so well, but he's 5,800 now. I don't know. Duncan Robinson finally had a decent game for whatever reason. They ran him out a ton of minutes, but then didn't play him at the end, even though he was playing well. So it's just weird. They just like closing it out with another ball handler on the floor, like Tyler Hero. So I think it's more secondary Heat pieces for me. And like Tony said, the cheap guys that I'm going to go with. But again, if you think this game stays close, it would definitely be Bledsoe, Lopez, and Dante, Marvin in that order for me. I just don't think it stays close.
Hey, T, so the line goes from 2.5 to 4 now. So Miami's a 4-point favorite. I didn't get it. Maybe I just didn't listen. Did you talk much about Middleton, how you're handling him tonight? And what about that Miami side?
Yeah, I think I'm off Middleton. I really do. Like, I don't see a scenario I play him just because his prices, even on FanDuel, he's 8K. I like these guys more on FanDuel for sure, so I can't guarantee I won't play him on FanDuel. But I don't like Milwaukee. I honestly don't. I think Miami just wins this ugly. And there's so many guys we can play in that next game that we're going to get to next, the Lakers-Houston, where I don't want to play guys I don't like because I love that later game. I think it's going to be a good game tonight. Tons of value, tons of studs. I don't want to play Middleton tonight. And really, I mean, he's 8,600. I don't see how I could even play him over Jimmy Butler, who's 100 cheaper. And on FanDuel, what's the price difference? We got 8K and 8,300. So basically the same price, both sites. I just like Jimmy Butler more tonight. I think they rise up and just pound this team. I love Bam. I think I like Bam either way. Like, even because they're not going to rest their guys unless they're just totally blowing them out. And I mean, I don't think this is going to be like a 30-point win or something. Unless Giannis is out, maybe if Giannis sits, they just really come and just bury him. I think that's best case scenario for us fantasy wise is Giannis sits. Everyone plays these Milwaukee guys because they're lazy. Like, people are so lazy in these playoffs. They just, oh, Giannis is out. Everybody crushed last game. We have to play him again. And I just don't think that's true. Like, Bledsoe sucks. And he would be massive chalk. Brook Lopez is too expensive. I don't really think I don't want to play these guys. So I think that might be a really crazy take as far as all these guys are going to be chalky if Giannis sits. And I just think I'm fading them. As far as Miami, like, I love Jimmy. I love Bam. Dragic has been awesome. His price is high. Crowder, yeah, his price is getting a little high, but still solid. Hero sucked last game, but he got all the late run over Duncan Robinson. Hit a couple big shots, too. They clearly like Hero as that fifth guy in this lineup. So I don't mind him, but I definitely like the Miami side way more than Milwaukee. And there's enough value in the late game that I honestly might just fade the early game completely. On FanDuel, like, the cheap guys aren't even cheap. And on DK, you might not need the cheap guys, honestly. But Dante is probably my favorite play on DK.
So hold on a second. Are you just going showdown tonight, or you'll play the 2-game slate?
Oh, yeah, you'll play the 2-game, but you'll treat it almost like a showdown. Where you play one guy in the early game or two guys in the early game and then more late guys.
Hey, JSU, anything else to add to this? It seems like you guys are both on the same page in this game for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, like, it just comes down to really what you think is going to happen in this game. Do you think Middleton's going to go off? Do you think the other guys around him do? Or do you think that he just run away with it? Like, I don't know. I just feel like Middleton's going to have to play every single minute of this game. And I just think the Heat will just force other people to beat him. And I'm with Tony. Like, Bledsoe sucks. Lopez, I'm not a huge fan of Brook Lopez. I mean, he can shoot threes and he can get some blocks at times, but still, he can't be like one of your main guys. Like, that's just not good. So I just don't see if them having enough firepower to hang with this Heat team, who I see as so much more talented and loaded, depth-wise, just up and down the charts. Like Tony said, Tyler Hero, like, that dude's a stud. Like, he's so good. And I think the reason why they like him at the end of games is because they like having an extra ball handler on the floor. And Duncan Robinson can't handle the ball. So he's only a shooter on the floor. So I think they'd rather have a shooter that can handle the ball a little.
Hero's way better on D, too. Like, he's way better.
Yeah, that too.
So and we had a thing in chat here where it's like Giannis is in a boot, and I just saw it. He's walking in there with his boot on. Listen, we already know he's screwed up. Like, why would you not put the guy in a boot? So that really doesn't tell me anything. We know the guy's hurt. I got a boot over here. You know, when I'm going out to the bar trying to pick up women, I'm wearing it because I want them to feel bad for me. That's what's going on here with Giannis. Oh, yeah, suck him in, man. His boot. He's going to take his foot's messed up.
He's going to rip the boot off and then run out onto the court and just start dunking on people. Like, is that what you're saying? He's going to do the Paul Pierce thing where
when this dude rolled his ankle last game, you would have thought he got shot in the leg. He was screaming so loud. Like, come on, Giannis, you big puss.
That makes you wonder just how serious it is, though. Like, dude doesn't leave a playoff game because he rolled his ankle just a little. The guy's messed up. Like, the Bucks are screwed.
No, his ankle's definitely jacked up. Like, I just don't think he plays. Maybe he does. I from the comments I heard from the coaching staff, it just feels like they're going to protect him from himself.
Bud was babying him just with his minutes.
Yeah,
you think he's not going to baby him with this serious ankle injury? No way.
You have to think the Kevin Durant thing is in their head where they kind of pushed KD back last year and then the Achilles snapped or whatever it was. Like, it has to be in their head.
Did I not put that in your head? Was this the last time we talked about this game?
I never heard you say that. That's the first time I've even talked about it.
Oh, no. Someone in chat definitely remembers.
I've never heard it either, Big T. I think he's just plagiarizing you.
I think he was too, yeah.
Oh, this is ridiculous. You called me out for it, too. You're like, no, that's not what it is.
Me?
Someone, yeah.
I didn't call you. I never heard that in my life. That wasn't me.
Someone in chat.
I don't believe it.
I don't know if it was the Giannis injury or another injury, but it was. I definitely brought this exact scenario up.
It might have been a different one.
But that Kevin Durant thing, it's definitely got to be in any coach's mind now whenever their star gets hurt, like somehow nicked up, and they try to push them out there. That you kind of got to hold them.
And they're
back
down 3-1 too. It's not like it's 3-3 going to Game 7. Like, they have to win 3 in a row. Like, it's they're not going to. I don't know. If he's healthy, he'll play. If he's not, he's probably not going to play.
Isn't Bud gone if they don't win the series?
I mean, Bud should be gone either way.
A built-in excuse too.
I'll tell you this much: they come back and win this series, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hold on! It's the worst thing to happen to Bucks fans if they win this series. The worst thing ever, right? Yes.
I'll have to delete my Twitter if they somehow came back.
Guys,
it wasn't Giannis.
Why? That'll look better for your Giannis's terrible take. I don't even understand what that. You're like talking about how bad Giannis is. Wouldn't that show it even more if
he came back and led them to victory somehow?
Oh, if he came back and led them to victory, you would have to shut down Twitter.
All right, guys, we do have another game going on here, and this should be a fun one, huh? Lakers, Rockets. We got a healthy Lakers team. We got a team with actually Dion Waiters is doubtful. Okay, and then Houston is going to be healthy tonight. Lots of fantasy goodness here. Lots of DFS goodness here. As we look at it, Big T, and you said you're going to stack this one up. So let's go team by team. I want to get your thoughts on Houston first, then we'll get to JSU on Houston. So break down the Houston side.
Wait a second. Hold on. Before we break down anything, thank you, Steve, because Steve in the chat is saying that combo for sure happened. I definitely remember it. Thank you, someone being honest and remembering that Tony tried to tell me, no way, that's not the case. I remember this too. I knew it happened. I knew Tony said something to me about it too, because I remembered it right when you brought up KD.
Tony, don't buy it. He's relying on somebody in chat that just wants to like chide you. Don't buy it. Making it up.
There's some great people in chat. I'll tell you that right now.
I love them.
Steve, you get a shirt. I made a decision. Steve gets a shirt. Hit up Big T. Tell him exactly when it was. And also hit him up. You get a shirt. I'm serious. You get an RPS. You get some RPS swag. Boom.
Don't do it, Tony.
That's how it's done.
Don't do it. Don't give it to him.
I did it. You can hit me up. I'll get it for you, but you win.
I like it.
Rockets. Red glare. Let's do it, Tony.
Yeah, so Dwight Howard didn't play last game. At least I think he didn't play. He didn't play, right, JSU?
No, he didn't see the court at all.
So he played 11 minutes 2 games ago, didn't play in game 2. They rolled. Kind of the thing I liked last game was going with Kuzma because I thought Kuzma matches up better in this series. You just can't play Dwight Howard, and then JaVale McGee gets hurt, so I just think they go small. I don't see any way JaVale plays tonight. Even if he's healthier, I don't think he plays. So that just leaves the Lakers as the total nuts. I mean, Markieff Morris looked great. He's not priced up. Rondo looked great. He's not priced up. These guys are going to play huge minutes. Kuzma's going to play big minutes. He's not priced up. And then obviously you got the studs, LeBron and AD. The guys I'm not playing are KCP. He sucks. I don't necessarily like Caruso. I think you could maybe play him if you're playing a bunch of teams as a Rondo pivot. Like I wouldn't play him with Rondo, but as a pivot to Rondo. Maybe Rondo gets in foul trouble or something like that as a pivot. But, man, it is tough to not play Markieff and Rondo tonight, and Kuzma for that matter. They're just going to play minutes against Houston, who plays at a style that should lead to a bunch of easy buckets. And then Showdown. We've done good Showdown the last 2 nights. We can talk about it real quick while we're talking about this game too. But, like, those guys just open the world for you. by playing them in Showdown, and then you can even play them in the captain and then get these studs in. But yeah, I love the Lakers. I think they're just slam dunks. And then the Houston side, I think we see Westbrook tonight. He's been terrible. As everyone knows, I'm not a Westbrook guy at all. He looked so bad the last 2 games and kind of took a lot of heat, where I think he shows up tonight, stops settling for bad jumpers, and just gets to the rim. And the flip side to what I said about the Lakers not going big, there's not going to be any rim protection under there besides AD, and that means good things for Mr. Westbrook. So I think he's my favorite play on the board tonight, Westbrook, all the way across the whole board. I think we see a vintage triple-double Westbrook game where he just breaks the slate.
So are you completely off Harden then? I'm not completely.
I still like Harden. If you can fit Harden, sure. I just like Westbrook more. It's tough to fit him because you're going to want to play AD or Bron too. You're not going to play Westbrook without a stud for the Lakers. It would just be dumb to do that. So it's tougher to fit 3 guys. I'll probably be off Harden because he's $3K cheaper than Harden. I just can't play Harden for $3K more unless you play them both. If you like them both, play them both. I'm fine with that. But you better play AD with them. You can't play both of them and neither LA star. So I'd rank it Westbrook, AD, Bron, Harden. I think Harden would be my 4th favorite of the stars.
Hey, JSU, looking forward to your breakdown here. I want to get your thoughts on Westbrook first because that's pretty bold there. Are you on there with Big T?
Yeah, I love him. I love him today. I think that, especially if McGee's out, that just makes him a better play. And, yeah, he can't shoot. He's terrible. He's looked awful. But the minutes are still going up, which is a solid thing for him. And then on top of it, like Tony said, there's going to be no rim protection if they go small. And if they go small, then Westbrook should be trying to fix what he did last time and just attack the rim. If your shot's not going in, I say this all the time, it's like Jaylen Brown yesterday. Stop heaving threes. Go to the rim. Get little jumpers. You can get them. They're so athletic. They can get these easy shots whenever they want to. But for whatever reason, a lot of these guys want to just dribble on the outside and take tough off-the-dribble shots, from deep and corner threes. Those are the hardest shots to make. Get easier shots, higher percentage shots. And when you have that type of athleticism without as much rim protection from LA, that makes it easier for you to get into the paint, score, draw the defense, kick for assists. So Westbrook has to be whatever that was. Westbrook has to be one of the top plays on the slate. And the price tag is just awesome. Now, I'm not going to probably pay $11K for Harden. He's a fine play, but I just if I'm going Westbrook, I'm probably not going to have any Harden. And then out of the Lakers studs, I do lean AD, but I really think both of these, if someone said, oh, yeah, I like LeBron more than AD, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a dumb take. No, they're both great plays. I just think I'll take my 600, salary with AD, but you could pair them both. Like Tony said, there's a ton of value from the Lakers that you can pair with these guys if you want to play them both. So, yeah, it just comes down to, do you want to go complete stars and scrub, or do you want to, have some type of mid-tier in your build or, and play only 1 or 2 studs as opposed to 3?
You guys could be building multiple lineups, though. But if I had to say, JSU, what's the majority of your lineups? You going stars and scrubs? Is there another way to do it? What would you say?
Well, I only build 1 or 2 lineups, especially for these 2-game slates. Right now I'm probably leaning Westbrook and most likely Anthony Davis as the 2 guys that I'm getting at the top. Unless I fall into more of these value plays like Dante. I mean, we got to get confirmation. That's the thing is DiVincenzo would be a good play if Giannis is definitely out. So it kind of just depends on the news that we get. If McGee's out, I like Kuzma even more. Markieff Morris, we got to talk about him because that dude, 6 for 8 from the field. He was 4 for 5 from 3. He had 16 points, and he only scored 24 fantasy points. Those type of guys always worry me just a little bit because, I don't know, when you're scoring that well from the field, you would like to see them pick up a few more rebounds, have assist, a block, a steal, something else. And it just, I'm not saying he's a bad play. Me personally, I would want to see him, McGee out. That would make me like him more. Or the coach say, like, we're going to look to get him more run. Because I honestly think he got
more run. Yeah, they don't need to say that. We know he's getting more run for a fact.
If McGee's out, though, right?
Like, he's either way. You don't
very think that – okay, wait. So let's just say McGee played his 11 or 12 minutes.
I don't think McGee's even going to play. Like, I feel very confident.
All right, well,
not just because of the injury either, because they dominated when they went small.
They did. No, yeah. I just think Kuzma lost run because Markieff was playing well. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree with that part for sure.
So, yeah, I think that Kuzma and Markieff are both solid plays. Again, much better if McGee is out. If McGee is out, I'll play them both. If McGee is out, I'd probably play one of the two. So it would depend on the price and what I need. If I had the money to get Kuzma, I'd probably get Kuzma, but if McGee's out, I'll be on both.
I just wonder, going back to the last game, guys, if there's any leverage to be had. If Giannis plays, but still going to the other guy, obviously fading Middleton, but going to some of those other guys in the lineup because they're going to still get more run because Giannis at some point in time is going to leave. Like, can you go into a slate attacking it like that?
Bledsoe and Lopez are going to be extremely popular if those guys, if Giannis is out.
But what if you're playing? Like, can you still go? You can still go back to those guys, can't you? If you at least want to maybe say, hey, Giannis plays, but he's not going to get through the game again. If you're doing one or two lineups, you probably can't go that way.
So you're saying if he plays?
Yeah, if he plays, can you get some leverage? Maybe putting those guys in, like a Lopez, and say, hey, you know what? Giannis probably going to finish. Might as well get a little edge right here.
I don't know. I feel like they're still going to have ownership to where, like, I could get leverage still on the field by not playing them. I don't know, Tony. Do you have a take on that?
He's going late game.
I mean, I just like the dude in the chat saying you can't fade Middleton. Like, I don't know. Like, why? Why can't you fade Middleton? This isn't regular season DFS. This is playoffs. They could run some. Spo is a good coach. He's not going to let Middleton just go off again on these guys. They got an edge last time because Giannis started. They were kind of caught off guard. It was that's not coming tonight. Tonight, Miami knows they need to shut this door tonight. They do not want this series to be 3-2, I promise you, because all the pressure will be on them. I just don't like Milwaukee. If Milwaukee is going to be chalky tonight if Giannis is out. I don't like them. I mean, if Milwaukee goes off like they did last game, I'm going to lose tonight, and that's just the facts of the matter. I like the second game more. I'm going to only play probably 2-3 max guys from the first game, and I'm going to play all the guys I like in the late game.
I don't understand why anyone is like, oh, you have to play this guy. Like, unless we get like a 3K player who's like, playing 20 plus minutes. Like, okay, that's a guy who I'm like, okay, I have to play this guy. Like Rondo, like if you
people were arguing that he was a lock last game, though. It was like he was 3-5, 3-6, whatever he was. Like, how's that not a lock?
Whatever. He was getting mid-20s minutes. That to me is more of like, okay, that's more of a lock play than a guy at 8,600 who, like, honestly, again. Is he good? Yeah, Chris Middleton's a good player. Is Miami going to do everything in their power to keep him from beating them like he did last game? Yes, the answer is yes. This is the playoffs, like Tony said. Coaches adjust after a game. It's not going to be normally like the Utah-Denver series where neither coach can figure out the other and how to stop them. Like, the Miami Heat team is a lot better defensively constructed than those other teams and most other teams in the playoffs, may I add. So, and Giannis off the court is going to hurt them for a full game defensively. The rebounding was astounding. The offensive rebounding, Bam was just a monster on the offensive boards. Like, he's going to crush them.
Anything else you guys want to add? That was a pretty thorough breakdown of both games. I like it. Let's do it. We got the Big Bats part. And I want to remind everybody right now, we're at 79 likes. Hey, we're in between sports. What number you want to set there? We got 79 likes. We got a whole 9-game slate to get to, JSU. I know you're giving Steve a T-shirt, but someone else deserves it too.
Yeah, well, we got to get to 150. We're at 300 right now, but we always talk about being halfway. So we got to get to 150. We can do it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem with that whatsoever. All right, guys. We got 9-game slate. Nice little slate tonight. And I'm looking at the top of the pitching board here. We got Walker Buehler going up against Arizona on the road. Clevenger making his second start, I believe, with the Padres now. Lance Lynn, Michael Wacha is 9.2 against. But what the hell is going on? What am I missing here, guys, with Michael Wacha? Am I missing something? Why is he 9.2?
Yeah. You're not missing anything.
Is that a mispriced?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Who's your top two guys tonight, T? Who are we looking at the top shelf? Haney?
Yeah. So Haney is just mispriced in the other way. Like, we talk about this matchup every single baseball show. Texas is terrible. The park is good for pitching. They can't face lefties. They're even worse against lefties. Haney's been good. He's borderline just a lock to me, where he's only 8,400. He's definitely the best pitcher on the board. And I don't really see a way to get rid of that. Like Walker Buehler, he's fine. I mean, he has looked. Let me pull up his thing here. Last time out, he had a pretty good start, right? And then he got
he had struggled at the beginning of the year. I mean, it took him a little while to get going, but I feel like coming off his last start, struck out 6 in 5 innings. We're just not seeing him go very deep. Like, he's maxed out at 6 innings this year, Tony. So
yeah, 7. So this is the start I was thinking of too. Like, he goes 5 innings, he strikes out 6, and Dave Roberts, being Dave Roberts, just pulls him at 71 pitches. I don't know exactly why it happened, but even before that, 92, 89, 87, 79. He's just not going deep. I'm not going to pay $10K for that when I can pay 8,400 for Andrew Haney. And then you look like Clevenger just hasn't been normal. I think you could play him. We saw Colorado just get embarrassed last night. They couldn't do anything. Lost 1-0 on a walk-off. But Clevenger, he just hasn't been great. 2 strikeouts, 6, 4, 5, just only 80-something pitches too. Just hasn't been his normal self. I do think the spot is decent if you wanted to play 2 studs, but there's just so many pitchers I like on this slate. Lance Lynn I always like, even though the matchup isn't great. He's the guy. He's the opposite of these guys. He goes 100 pitches every start. 111, 110, 105, over 100 every single start. And there's something to be said for that. In the current baseball, the way it is, if you can guarantee me over 100 pitches with a guy that's pretty good and has strikeout stuff, his last – every game on the season, he has over 6 strikeouts and over 100 pitches. Like, how do you not like that? Well, what is there not to like about 100 pitches, 6 strikeouts? Sign me up.
All right, JSU. Yeah, and listen, I want to get to some of the values a little bit later on, but JSU, who are you targeting here at the top? Maybe even to the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's Lance Lynn for me. Andrew Heaney would be a second. But like Big T said, Lynn's playing a ton. They're letting him go, roll out a ton of pitches, over 100, plus in all the starts pretty much. I think he's just the top pitcher on the board. Tony also said it right with Buehler. It stinks because I would like him against Arizona. I like the matchup. Arizona has not been a team that I feared to take pitchers against, and I think Buehler is a solid pitcher. But when you get in the up and down pitch count, like he got 71 last time and then 92 the game before, like it's kind of all over the place. If you could guarantee me he was going 90 to 100 pitches, I would love him today. But I don't know. Against Arizona, I would like the matchup a lot. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't trust Roberts, so I'm probably just going to play Lynn over him. And I don't mind playing both those guys, Heaney and Lynn, in the same lineup together. Then as we go down, I don't know. Like we got to make some. We got to make some calls here because we got Logan Webb going up against Seattle. A lot of people like to pick on Seattle. Logan Webb isn't someone who I want to play, but he has a good matchup. Tyler Mahle against the Cubs. he's got a little upside. I don't mind him against Chicago. He dominated this matchup last time with 11 Ks. I mean, 8,200. I don't mind that, but yeah, I don't see a lot, at least in the mid tier, anyways, outside of those two guys, taking a shot with.
All right, so you're looking down here. I mean, T, if you're saving money, are you even bothering saving money here on pitching, or are we just going the big T special? Let's pay up and then throw some lower owned stacks in there.
The problem with how I build teams is I always say I'm gonna not do that, and then I start putting in my hitters, and I just have salary to get up to the guys. So then I'm like, I can play a cheap guy or a good pitcher, and I just always play the good pitcher. So I don't know. One thing to note too is this Cubs game has a nice little wind coming inward. So you got Mills and Melee in that game, where I'm interested in that for sure. I mean, both teams projected under 4 runs, good pitching. I mean, it might be below 60 too by the time the game starts, which is good pitching weather, especially with the wind. I like those guys. You look at this Reds lineup; it is straight garbage against anybody. But Alec Mills is decent enough. They got Aquino back up. I mean, Aquino wasn't even going to make the team this year because he can't hit any breaking balls at all. Like Serrano from Major League, he just can't. He can't freaking get it done. So I like both. Pitching's good tonight. Honestly, we're going to have a harder time selling ourselves on some bats, I think, than the pitching, because honestly, there's eight pitchers I could see myself playing, and they're all pretty good plays. So I think maybe it might be a night, honestly, where I lock in on 1 or 2 stacks instead of 4, and I mix the pitchers in a little more than I normally would.
I mean, you look at him.
Please don't tell me you're going to play John Means.
Hi, he's on my list.
Oh, God.
He's on my list to bet against. My God.
Tony loves this guy. I don't get it. He loves him. He thinks he's just better than he is.
Man.
The one guy I could see down here is Sicto Sanchez. At least has some upside. Now, it's a terrible matchup. But
yeah, and he's going to be 40% owned, and Means going to be 3.
Oh, God, don't do it, Tony. You can't do this. You cannot do this. He's just not good. I know. I say this. We've had him on the show before. He's just not good. I don't know where you see the play here. I don't get it. Can you sell me on him at all? Like, besides the fact
he's the man.
He's the man. He's
Yeah.
cheap.
He's a winner, and winners win.
I got Uncle T in the chat telling me please not to let him play Means. Uncle T, I can't stop Tony if he wants to play John Means. I can't do it. I'll try to, but he won't listen to me anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So
Hey, how are you guys handling this? Like, hey, we faced a team 3 times in my last 4 starts. Like, DeGrom had faced Miami, I think, 4 straight starts. So this is going to be Melee's 3rd start against the Cubs. His last start, he struck out 11. His first start, he got rocked. Like, are you guys even bothering with that right now? If they continue to see the same team over and over again, or is it not even factor in your decision making? JSU, T, doesn't matter. One of you.
what was the question? I'm sorry.
Big T, what is it, buddy? You take that into account? You know what? Screw both of you. Jesus Christ. I'm like, I want to do more shows with these 2 guys, and then I do shows with these jerks. All right, let's get into
I was listening to what you said.
What's that? What'd you say?
No, I said Tony and me both zoned you out. We were doing something else.
I don't usually worry about it, honestly. Like, if it's a young pitcher, I worry about it more than some of these other guys. I don't worry about it with Melee. Is that even how you pronounce his name? Melee?
Melee,
Tyler Melee. I like this dude, too. I've played him a bunch. I mean, the wind is coming in strong. 15 miles an hour, it looks like. I like the arms.
No, I mean, look, everybody in the chat there is going, hey, you're right. Play John Means tonight. 100% exposure. Roll him out, Big T. Roll him out there, baby. Let's go.
If he throws a gem, I'm gonna get trolled so hard too. I can't wait.
I don't even like him that much tonight.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better now.
Hit the like button, jabroni. You only got 105. You got 304 watching. So all it takes, boom. It's very easy to do it. It's not that tough. And one of you just going to win some swag. Let's get to the offenses here. White Sox against Joe Musgrove. You know, maybe the White Sox had a down night, but these guys, every night it seems like they're up at 6 or 7 runs. And then I'm hearing people say, hey, let's go up against Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease has the old school numbers that are much better than, you know, the actual analytics. And then this guy did not look good in his last start. He wasn't striking anybody out. JSU, are you listening? Yeah,
I am listening.
Rundown on that White Sox Pirates offense there, jabroni.
I am listening, and yeah, I'm not gonna attack Dylan Cease. You know, I think he's a solid pitcher in Pittsburgh. Like, yeah, I don't want any of Pittsburgh personally. I think Joe Musgrove is someone we can obviously attack with the White Sox. Does have a tendency to give up home runs. Again, he's like another guy who he'll get shelled a bunch. I think he's like a decent pitcher, and he does have some decent stuff in my opinion, but he does also tend to give up the long ball and get shelled at times. So against the White Sox, who are just, you know, obviously so good with the bats, I don't see how you don't look at the White Sox as an option tonight.
Is that where are they on your tier, your stack list there, Big T? White Sox.
Yeah, they're always interesting for sure. Musgrove, he's a decent pitcher, but he does get lit up at times. So Moncada in the 2-hole, always against righties. This lineup is just so explosive. They can score a ton of runs at any time. This is an interesting spot baseball-wise, though, because everyone's going to go to the White Sox. They're only a 130 favorite. And Cease hasn't been that good. Like, he started way better than he's been lately. He gave up. I mean, he still hasn't got quite shelled, but he's just one of those guys that kind of just is better real life than fantasy. I don't know. Like, they have a 4.5 projected. I kind of like the lineup, too, just looking at it. You got some crappy guys that no one's going to play, but the prices are good. Like Josh Bell, 3,400. Hasn't been that great. Cheap. You got Polanco, 3,100. Brian Reynolds, 34. It's just these prices. It just works with the pitching where you can play 2 stud pitchers. And I don't hate this. I like this game. So the Pirates are definitely in the equation for me.
Hey, you didn't mention the Pirates there because you didn't want to go get Cease, JSU. I mean, is it completely off the radar? Is there one off in here? Or just sink them?
I mean, I don't think they're completely off the radar. I just think what Tony said is right. Cease seems to not get shelled. He'll give up some runs, but he just seems not to get that like big game where he just gets absolutely shelled. So I don't know. I was like full stack. I'm just going to stay away from the full stacking. I mean, you can pick off a cheap batter too if you want from this Pirates side, but you know, Gregory Polanco is still cheap, 3,100. Like I think there's some plays if you want it, but I'm not going to full stack the Pittsburgh side.
So, Tony, I guess you're completely off the Mets since you're all about John Means tonight. Any interest over there anywhere? What do you do with the other side too? I mean, listen, Waka over a 3-game stretch.
Are you going to talk about your O's again?
Huh? No, I'm done. I'm totally off the O's for the rest of the year. It's over.
Thank God.
It's over. I'm done. I'm throwing it in the trash. But Means is hot garbage. But Waka has 3 games where he averages 7 strikeouts. His last start, he got rocked again, and for some reason, he's priced up. What am I missing here? Should I be going to the Orioles for some reason? What the hell am I missing here?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't. I definitely don't like Waka, but I also don't like this Baltimore lineup. So there's other spots I like more, so I'm not going to go there. But
JSU?
I mean, so I like the Mets a good amount today. Even the lefties, like I can play McNeil like lefty on, like I don't mind that 3,600. That's cheap price tag for him. Solid hitter. Conforto, now he's a little more expensive at 4,700, but I could still always play him even against a lefty. I don't care about that. And then they've got some power righties. You know, JD Davis hitting in the 2-hole. Todd Frazier. Now, they're both third base eligible. It's something like on FanDuel, you could play them both, but on DK, you got to pick one. Alonso's obviously a solid play. Wilson Ramos, Marisnik, he's in the 6 hole, 2,600. Like, I don't mind taking shots with some of these guys, and the price tags are, like I said, a lot really affordable outside of, like 1 or 2 guys. So I like this Mets on a slate where we don't have a lot of solid offense. I think this Mets team gives you a bunch of different mix of like affordable and, some bats to pay for that is a solid stack today.
All right, guys, this is the game that I think is going to be interesting. Miami at Atlanta. And if you watch baseball and you watch Kyle Wright, it's like cringeworthy. He's going to get rocked. I mean, the xFIP's over 6. He's walking 17%. He's getting hit hard from both sides of the ball. It's not like he's good against one side. It gives up a little less fly balls to left-handers, but God, he's awful. And tonight's opponent's the Marlins, though. Now, the Marlins got some bats. They got a couple of bats, and the other night they exploded against the Rays early on in that game. So, JSU, looks like you're chomping at the bit here. Maybe you're not. But what are you doing with the Marlins tonight? You like a little Marlins action?
So the Marlins, to me, I think it's another team where I don't mind them today. They're all really cheap in another spot where, again, like I'll say, the offense isn't great on this slate. And I think if you wanted like a cheaper offense, I mean, this is a team that gives you some of the cheap bats. And then Marte, who's obviously expensive, but he's been doing pretty solid. I don't mind him as a spend up. But yeah, I think I'm more on the Miami side today than the Atlanta side. That might be a mistake. Like Atlanta might be that team where you could get a ton of leverage if you stack against this, this young kid Sanchez and hope he just blows up. Because Tony did say like he's going to be 40%. I just think this kid has I watched him in his first 3 starts. Like he's got some really good stuff, but maybe you do get leverage from doing an Atlanta stack. That's a team who you could argue right now is one of the hotter lineups in baseball, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Sorry, Big T, but, I wonder, which offense are you higher on today?
Yeah, so Kyle Wright brings up a good point that, like, he's given up 3 runs, 4 runs, 5 runs. He's terrible. Is this not the guy that was in the Korean baseball league? I don't know about that, but
he's legit. There's been bad Phillies pitchers and bad Red Sox pitchers, and this guy has been every bit as bad as those guys. He's one of the probably handful of worst starters I've seen in baseball this year. He's horrible.
Just terrible. And I really like this Miami. How does Miami trade for Sterling Marte anyways? This lineup is nice, though. You got Dickerson. Matt Joyce he's another guy. Like I keep saying I'm going to make this list of my guys. Matt Joyce is definitely one of my guys that against right-handed pitching, he's in the 4 hole. He's 2,600. Matt Joyce is like one of my favorite plays of the night, and he plays for Miami, and it's just weird. But you got some dude I've never heard of, Jazzy Chisholm or whatever his name is. He looks super tasty too down in the 7 hole.
Jazzy Chisholm, is that what you called him?
Yeah, whatever his name is. He's going to win the money tonight, though.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm, baby. I like it. It's a great call.
I like that a lot. But this Miami team, I'm not playing Atlanta. I can play Freddie Freeman every day, hit a grand slam the other day. I said he gets double digits every night. Let me pull him up here. I like looking at this. So ever since I said that, like 15, 24, nothing, 29, 3, 6, 13, 10, 15. Like he's just good. So you can play him anytime. But, I mean, this pitcher 6, though, is nasty, and I like his stuff. I'm not going to pick on him at all. And, I mean, if it's anybody, it's Freddie. But this Miami team might be my favorite stack of the night. And I think it's a little sneaky. Kyle Wright's terrible. Sign me up for Miami. I like it.
It's fascinating, too, man. It's like Miami's a dog in this game. And I suppose just because why? Because
it's a short price though. Like when you think about Atlanta and Miami, you think like Atlanta minus 160 or something. Just being close to a coin flip is interesting to me.
I mean, it's a hell of a point, man. I'm just looking at this dude. I mean, Kyle Wright, that's one of the guys you got to target him. You might get lucky against you one night, but more often than not, he's just going to get pummeled. And also,
he's going to win us like $250K tonight in this $1,500 tournament over on DraftKings because Miami's going to do some things for us tonight.
Yeah, Miami's a strong team. I love it.
Man, do you think people just fade them because they're Miami or they're smart?
I think they'll get a little attention just because of the prices. Like, I mean, these guys are cheap, except for somehow Starling Marte's. He's like priced way up, but besides him, I think they're just affordable.
Marte's priced up almost around where Trout is, like $600 cheaper.
Which I will say though does make him interesting on this slate because people don't want to pay that price.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He might be the guy that differentiates your Miami stack, right? Like a little bit. Yeah. I mean, crazy to say it, but
yeah, I'm almost happy he's priced like that because that's expensive. I mean, that's up there.
I feel like might be the first or second time this year we've actually said Miami's okay. Like, don't worry about it. Just take the M off.
A huge park upgrade, which we always talk about. I love the big park upgrades.
It's just a great guy to go up and target today. I'm a little bummed. Like, the worst bullpen teams are not on the slate. So we don't have Philadelphia. We don't have Houston. We don't have Boston playing that doubleheader. So that's a little bummer. But let's get to this next game here. Milwaukee facing Spencer Turnbull. And Detroit on the other side against Adrian Hauser. Now, we may have just touched it briefly, JSU, on Hauser. I didn't hear much out of either one of you on Hauser. Would you bother attacking him? And then what would you do with the Milwaukee side tonight against Turnbull?
Yeah, so Hauser is someone who I don't mind attacking. He struggled, giving up 4 and 5 runs his last 3 starts, giving up 9 hits in all 3 starts. One of them was to Detroit in his last game out. So I don't mind going to Detroit. They're not one of my top couple stacks. Like, I like Miami, I think, a little bit more. I like the Mets personally, but I mean, Detroit's up there and they're cheap again, like another team where they got some cheap bats mixed in. So I don't mind Detroit. I'm probably staying off Milwaukee. To me, I think you could take some one-offs from the Milwaukee side, but as a full stack, I'm probably staying away. I can only focus in on so many, and they just miss the cut for me.
All right, Big T, anything? Maxwell Smart's over here talking about women with rough hands under bridges. I'm trying to focus to this. Maxwell Smart is just.
You should never be allowed to do a show with him either. We'll have lawsuits coming from every direction.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, he has college basketball, sex workers, everything. I did that late show with them the other night. I hopped on the live show.
Did you get on with him?
Oh, was it just wonderful? It was so refreshing to just find someone that doesn't care about the law, social graces, or anything like that. It's great.
Yeah, he literally doesn't care.
T, what are you doing with this game? Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Turnbull, I liked him a ton to start the year, and he just hasn't been very good lately. You look at old Doogie Howser, and let's see, he hasn't been great either. I like both of these guys, but I mean, Doogie Howser gave up 5, 4, 4, 3, 4. So yeah, I mean, I'm on board.
Hey, JSU, do you know who Doogie Howser is?
No.
There it is. Of course he does it.
Dude, we got to stop doing these references.
You ask questions that you know for a fact that you know the answer to.
And then I have fun with it. The T's laughing too, man. We're all having fun at your expense.
Of course he's
laughing. You do it to me. You weren't even listening to me. We're doing a show together. You're not even listening. I can't crack your balls over Doogie House.
Oh, you're allowed to crack his balls.
This is why I don't listen to you half the time. Because half the time you're just trying to make fun of me. So that's why I don't listen to Big T half the time. Because half the time.
All right, whatever, Max Headroom. Finish this up here for us, Big T.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where I would just I'm looking for we don't have a Milwaukee lineup yet, I don't think, but yeah, as far as Detroit, I think you can go there. The problem is, man, it's ugly, and I don't like any of these dudes. So there's just other stacks. Again, I say it every day. I'm only going to play 3 teams in baseball, and I don't think Detroit can make the cut for me. But I think it's okay, and I want to see this lineup from Milwaukee because if they give us the right lineup, I could be interested. But for whatever reason about Milwaukee, like I just hate it too. When did they get old Vogie? How long's Vogie been in there? If Vogie's in the 4-hole, I will have a lot more interest in Milwaukee. It looks like he's projected to be in there. We'll have to see. I didn't even know he was on the team. So if he is, I definitely like him in the 4-hole.
He was on the team.
Yeah, I mean,
my favorite show. Yeah,
came over somehow. What was he on the emergency team or something?
Yeah,
Where did he come from?
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's pick up the pace here, boys. How about that? And also hit the like button. You got to get to 150. Oh, we're at 127. Just do it. Just boom. It's very easy. You don't have to worry about it. JSU, as we move on to our next game here. Here we go. The Angels and the Rangers. Do I just take the Rangers completely off the list? Do I just take this game off the list? Is there somebody that you can one-off?
Yeah.
Who are we playing?
Take the game somewhat off the list. I mean, I'm sure you could find a one-off in here. I'm just probably not going to go here. Like, you want to play Mike Trout, like, go for it. He's Mike Trout. But I'm probably not playing anyone. Kiner Falefa at 3,600 as but yeah, Solak 3,700. Like, you could find some cheap bats from the Texas side, but I'm probably not going to have much from either side of this game.
T, anything here?
I mean, you look at this Texas lineup, and it is just so bad. Haney at 8,400 is going to be chalky, but it is hard to get away from him. He's been really good. We got a good park against the worst lineup in baseball. It is really, really hard to not play Haney. And, I mean, to be honest, I'll probably just play him. I mean, and just make it easy. Turn it into a one-pitcher site instead of a two-pitcher, and on FanDuel, just play him. This Texas lineup is so terrible. Like, if they beat me, they beat me. I'm fine with it. I'll just move on to the next day because – man, that's a bad lineup. I mean, that's one of the worst lineups I've ever seen.
Ever?
Like, look at it. It's horrific.
Pretty bad, man. It really, I'm checking it out right
There's
now.
not a single hitter in that lineup that scares me against Haney.
Not one.
Not a single one. Like, not one.
That is unfortunate for the Texas Rangers. Went from the best. Not even Joey Gallo, lefty on lefty, 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, like I can't. He doesn't scare me at all, lefty.
So hold on a second. Since we're talking about no offense, then what are you doing with Cincinnati and Chicago? Like, to me, it'd be a really nice offensive game if the wind wasn't blowing in at 10, 15 miles an hour?
Even higher. It looks like it might get up to 20 during the game. Like,
forget about it. Like, I know, growing up, going to Wrigley Field, I know how the wind is. You know, it can be blowing in at the start of the game and then it blows out. It can be blowing out and then blowing in. But if we're talking about this type of wind, like, even if it's for 4 or 5 innings, that just completely takes offense out for half the game. JSU, anything here offensively?
No, these are just 2 games back-to-back that I have no interest in.
Good. So let's get to Colorado and the Padres then, because we see Clevenger out here. Clevenger has not been the same guy this season that I thought he would. And I've said this before. Coming into the season, I thought him and Bieber were on the same plane, that Clevenger could, take that next step, and he hasn't. It just has not been the same guy. He has gone 6 innings. He's not striking the guys out this season. There's more contact. That being said, though, he's going up against the Rockies on the road, so I don't know what you guys think about that. And then Chichi Gonzalez coming out here, just throwing dong balls everywhere, and you got a lineup with Moreland and Grisham from the left side, and Tatis and Machado. So JSU, I go right back to you on this. Like, the Padres, are they just chalk tonight? You got to play the Padres?
I mean, I do think they're somewhat popular tonight. They have to be. You're not afraid of Gonzalez at all. And like you said, they have a bunch of bats, left, right, like their whole lineup's solid. It's just like, for me, it's the Clevenger thing. Like, yes, he's going up against Colorado. I still I can't pay 9,700 for what he's done this year. And maybe he turns it around against Colorado, but he's still 9,700. Like, I don't think he's gonna burn me, even if he has a decent outing where he puts up like 20 or 25. Like, I'm not like worried about that. That's not going to kill me if I don't have him. I just don't see him throwing up a score that's actually going to burn me big time. So I'm just staying away from Clevenger. And it's another game where like Colorado, like San Diego, I have interest in. Colorado, I have no interest in. I'm just staying away from them.
How about you, T? Colorado, San Diego, anybody?
Yeah, so San Diego is going to be popular for sure because they're popular every night. I don't think I like it, though. I mean, they cooled off a little bit last night. Like I said, it was 1-0. I watched that game last night. The Rockies just looked miserable at the plate. And Clevenger, I agree with everything that we kind of have said about it, where he hasn't looked good. I think he's only made 1 or 2 starts since he's been in San Diego. It looks like a get-right spot for me. Like, I think we're playing Haney on all 3 of my teams, and then maybe I filter one guy on each. And I think I might play one Clevenger just because he does have the talent. The matchup is as good as it gets. I mean, Matt Kemp is hitting in the 6 hole. This lineup is just really bad. So I'm not completely writing off Clevenger. He's not my favorite. If I was playing one team, it probably isn't going to be Clevenger. But, man, I have to have some. And I think I'm going to fade the Padres chalk offense and kind of go a different direction with Miami or some of those teams we talked about early. The White Sox always, the Pirates, Milwaukee if we get the right lineup. Some of those teams, San Diego is going to be too popular for me. I just don't love it.
All right, very good. Let's move on to our next game here, and that would be the LA Dodgers at the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Dodgers are always popular. Tonight they got Luke Weaver, and Weaver's been giving up a lot more fly balls this year. Again, small sample, but almost 47%. His hard hit rate's up close to 50%, and he's a right-hander going up against the Dodgers. So, guys, give me your thoughts on the Dodgers, and then the Arizona side going up against Walker Buehler, who has really not been the same guy that we saw last year. Tony, I know you're looking at this hard. What are you doing with the Dodgers offense?
I mean, I got Uncle T's talking trash in the chat first.
What's he saying?
He would race people. All I know is on my Periscope, Mangone's 0-1. Uncle T is 0-1 on my Periscope. So I'm just throwing it out there. Like he did get owned in a race. Just the facts, but I wanted to put that out there.
I will gladly race anyone at Run Pure Sports. If anyone has
you say that like you're so proud. Like, I'm racing you.
I will gladly race anyone for giblets at Run Pure Sports.
Tony, you can't take him. One of your
race?
Yeah, think of his stride versus your stride. He needs like 8 to get to one where you are.
Are you kidding me, Holden?
The only
legs are 6 times the size of yours.
The only chance I would have
you run it like this, like galloping.
Like I think I could.
You run an 8
really short
flat
race,
40, JSU.
Like half court or something. Maybe I can get him.
I beat you with a ruptured Achilles over
here. You could, Holden. You could not beat me.
A ruptured Achilles, done.
I gotta send more pictures of me at the dojo for Tony.
Don't give me.
Hey, Uncle T, just relax. No trash talking. I'm trying to keep these guys on point, okay? Try to settle down.
No. Uncle T, and speaking of Uncle T, I think the playbook is just about done over at Run Pure Sports. So make sure you guys go over and check it out because I'm pretty sure that.
Oh man, going called out Uncle T. See that's a race I can get behind because on my Periscope they're both 0-1. Maybe they can work their way back to 500. We can book that up. I like that, Mangone.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
Yeah, that's it. Uncle T, shut it down. I'll be with you tonight. We're gonna go tape a podcast. You, me, and me. Hold on a second. That's the other thing. JSU, as long as we're completely off board here, we'll get to these final 2 games. The last night we're doing our podcast meeting, right? And JSU's like, here, I want you to meet these 2 guys. You had no idea how old Rubio and Title were. These 2 guys combined are 44 years old. I'm working with 2 22-year-olds. The other show he does, I'm the youngest guy on the pod. We got a 46, a 48, and a 50. I mean, you talk about like one of us might die during that other show. This is you are really towing the line here, JSU. You better have a backup because we're talking about geriatric people. We're just going to call it the old guys pod.
No, yeah, I mean it's gonna be Kush and the old buddies. Like I don't know, like it's gonna be something. But listen, the pairings are just perfect. I mean,
I should call it the wishbone, just because that's you guys are old enough to watch the wishbone in action.
Yeah, just call it Doogie Howser. Then nobody else knows that.
No, JSU doesn't know what that means, so that one's out.
Okay, don't worry about it. He was a fictional 90s doctor who was a child. So we do have the rest of these. Let's just finish this slate, and then we can whatever you want to do. I don't care. Are we done with LA and Arizona, guys? Did we?
I don't even think we got to LA and Arizona.
Tony, I thought Tony did, and then
I got sidetracked when they started. They got me excited in there. I like the trash talk in the chat. I like that. But the Dodgers, yeah. I mean, I say the same thing about the Dodgers every day. They're facing Luke Weaver. They have all the power. The Dodgers are a team you should play almost every day. I mean, they have power. They can win the slate for you. I don't know if the roof's open, but either way, I still like them tonight. If the roof's open and it's hot in Arizona, then I like them even more. There's not a lineup out. They have the ability to put a lineup out that I like at the bottom, too, where they can play like Beatty and Lux and that Rios and those like scrubby type guys that are lefties against Weaver. That this Dodgers lineup could be really sneaky depending on what it is. But no matter what, if I'm playing three teams, the Dodgers are always in play for me. And I do like Buehler a little bit. I just worry. It's a similar play to me as Clevenger. I think Buehler will be higher owned. I think they both have a ton of upside and maybe a little risk to them just because we don't fully know. So I think I'll have one of both of them, though, honestly. Like, I like them enough to where I can play them as my second guy with Haney, and I like it. So, yeah, Dodgers are a plus for me.
Dodgers, I mean, at the very least, if you're stacking somebody else, there's got to be one or two guys in there you can throw your lineup, right, JSU? Like, who's your two top plays from the Dodgers?
Well, I think the Dodgers are a team that, like, you could pivot to off San Diego. Like, if you want a team with, like, just as much upside, right, I think the Dodgers are right there, and they'll probably come in a little – I think they'll come in a little lower owned.
No, the Dodgers are going to be owned, too.
You think they're going to be higher owned than San Diego?
Right now.
You think they're going to be higher owned than San Diego, though?
I mean, they're maybe similar. They got a 6-run total. They're definitely going to be owned.
All right. I mean, I think San Diego is going to be more popular, but yeah, you're right. They're both going to be owned. It's fine. I still think the Dodgers are a solid team, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play Arizona just because I'm probably not going to roster Buehler, but I still think he's a really solid pitcher. I mean, but yeah, that's really it.
All right, cool. We got one more game to get to. And that would be Seattle at San Francisco. And we got the Seattle right-hander tonight. See, this is going to be interesting because the Run Pure Sports guys seem to like the Giants quite a bit. And tonight they got a tasty matchup. Little L.J. Newsome action. If you don't know L.J. Newsome, he's a guy that does not throw very hard. He struck out 35 and 48 2/3 innings at Double-A. Now, lifetime in the minors, he has more than a strikeout an inning. But he really projected as nothing more than a number 5 starter, and you got to throw him out there. You know, it's the only thing he doesn't do is walk guys. We love free passes, but besides for that, how do you pass the Giants up tonight, JSU? Especially we call it the late night hammer. Come on, there's got to be something from this Giants lineup.
Yeah, I like this Giants lineup. I like the Giants as a stack tonight. You know what I mean? Brandon Belt. I keep talking about guy's been hitting really well. 3,800 on DraftKings. You know. I like this line, you know, depending on, I don't think we have a lineup yet, but, you know, Yastrzemski's 5,900. No one's going to pay for him over Trout and guys at the top like that. So he's interesting to me. Now, obviously, like Wilmer and Big T guys like Ruff and all those guys, we want to see them more against a lefty. But they still got some bats where, like, even if I don't full stack it, I mean, Brandon Crawford at 4,700. I don't know if I can pay 4,700 for Brandon Crawford, but even if I don't full stack this game, I'll probably take like a one-off or a mini stack approach at least because I do like some of these Dodger bats.
Like Yastrzemski, Solano, Belt. Those are the guys that kind of stick out every single night, right? Especially Belt against righty. Hey, T, so you look at this. Is there anything in the Mariners side, but the Giants side, like you like these guys too?
So I'm not as high on the Giants side. I like them. It's just, man, these prices are outrageous for them. And I don't want to pay up for pitching. I don't necessarily want to pay these prices. I do like it, but I mean, 5,900 is outrageous for Yastrzemski. I like him. Brandon Crawford, another guy I like. He's usually like 2,700. He's 4,700. Dickerson's 4,800. Longo 47. Belt is a good price, but Wilmer's too expensive. The whole lineup's just too expensive, so I'm off. I get why people like it. In the bet side, I think you said we had some guys that like the Giants. I like the Giants. I think they score. It's just, man, these prices are too expensive when you can play like Mookie and Muncy and Bellinger and these guys, or you can play the Giants. Like I'm just gonna play the Dodgers over that. So I don't know. Like I don't like it. But I mean, Seattle has a decent total. You want to talk about a sneaky team? Logan Webb's not any good, and literally no one's going to play Seattle, who has scored runs all season. They're going to be literally 1% owned, to where if Seattle goes off, you're going to have a chance to win the slate. And it's another spot, too, where how many times do we see it where there's like no offense early and everyone's tilting, like just no offense. We need some offense, blah, blah. And then you're just sitting on a late Seattle stack, just completely unowned. That's a good feeling to have, because you know for a fact if they go off, you're going to have a chance to win. So
you are building your lineup around Jose Marmolejos tonight. Is that true?
I mean, yeah, I like that dude. I'm confused too by Mangone, because he says acting like salary is a thing. What does that even mean? If I plug Clevenger and I plug Haney in, I have 3,900 per player. Like, yeah, salary's a thing. I don't just because I don't play chalky people like freaking Mangone, or is it Travis? Which one's the chalky one?
Mangone's the chalky one.
Let me talk to Travis, because Mangone, come on, Mangone.
Dude, seriously, it's like Sybil. He's now got 3 personalities. He's crashing the chat. Do you guys not give him any work? I mean, seriously, dude. And this Mangone.
I think we need to give him more work, Tony. Let's go. We got to up the workload for Travis or Mangone.
Yeah, Travis gets a free pass. Mangone needs work for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I will say, though, for the Giants, real quick, you kind of brought up a reason why they're going to be supremely lower owned, in my opinion. No one's going to pay those price tags if you want to full stack this team, I don't think anyways, over the Dodgers, over the Padres, of like paying for teams like that. So I think from that standpoint, you're going to get a really low-owned Giants team as well, not just Seattle. Both these teams are going to come in under-owned. I like Tony's take on Seattle, but I think that San Francisco is going to be extremely low-owned just because of the points Tony made up about the prices. I mean, Brandon Crawford is 2,900. Usually we're paying 4,700 for him. Yastrzemski's like 4,800. Like, okay, so he's like 1,000 more or whatever. But like some of these guys are just way. Alex Dickerson, what is it? Alex Dickerson. What is he? 40. Yeah, he's 4,800. He's in Coors. He was like 3,300 a week ago or a week and a half ago. Whenever it was that title was talking about him in the chat. But like. That's just crazy price tags to pay for these guys. But again, that's going to keep their ownership to be very low tonight.
I hope Dickerson plays too. See what he does. He had that knee issue, so we'll see if he plays tonight. And Yastrzemski's been really, really cold recently. But again, like, what's his ownership, JSU, at almost 6,000? He's the 4th highest priced player. He's like more than some pitchers tonight.
If he comes in over like 3%, I'd be shocked, to be honest.
All right.
Like,
what's the stacks, guys? What's the stacks, Tony? Who's the top 3 tonight?
Yeah, so for me, I have to say my favorite stack's Miami, I think. I like that lineup. I like it, too, because after just building teams as we were going, if you play the 3 outfielders, I think that's pretty contrarian, where Marte, Dickerson, and Joyce. I think a lot of people will play Dickerson and Joyce just because of the price tags, but I don't think people are going to play Marte, and they're definitely not going to lock all three outfielders in for Miami. So I like that, and you can even pull it like I usually like Jesus better against lefties, but Kyle Wright is just as good as anybody, so he's going to give up some bombs for us. I like him, and then throw one more random dude in, Jazzy or any of those guys down there, Brian Anderson. But after Miami, the White Sox would probably be my number 2, and then I guess the Dodgers would be my number 3.
JSU?
Yeah, for me, it would probably be Miami, the Mets, and then probably the Dodgers.
Miami, the Mets, and the Dodgers. Instead of the home runs, can you guys give me a one-off? I mean, Big T's one-offs. Where you can't do Naquin. You got no Naquin. There is Darren Ruff, but
I got my one-off because my man Vogie's in the lineup in the 5-hole, baby. Vogie, 3,300 against Turnbull. Sign me up, Mr. Vogelbach.
All right, let's put it down. I will have a Vogelbach in there just for you tonight. What about you, JSU?
I'm countering with Brandon Belt.
Yeah, I do. Are you really? Because I like him too.
Yeah.
Oh God, you guys like chess game over here. Hey, before we get out of here, first of all, did we get to 150 or these jabronis disappoint us? Yeah, you only got to 146. That's really disappointing, especially considering we have by the end of this thing, we're gonna have over 1,000 people that stop by and watch. So if you don't get it in the next 10 seconds, if we don't get 3 likes, screw it, you're in trouble. JSU, real quick. NFL, I mean, it's here, dude. Thursday, I'm sure T's going to be doing all the showdown stuff. Sunday's the big day. It's probably a good time to get your sub if you have not done that. Just tell them what's going on right now at Run Pure Sports.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't got locked into the monthly price, $65 a month, that's you only got until the end of this week, I think, to get locked into that price at $65 a month. So get in now, you get locked into that for life, $65 a month. But yeah, we're gonna have a ton of content. Tony's gonna do the first showdown slate video Thursday. It'll be recorded, and it'll drop Thursday in the afternoon, probably sometime for the Thursday night showdown slate. So that's gonna be huge, and he'll do one with I think Hoop, a video with Hoop for all the island games. So pretty much the Thursday night game, the Sunday night football game, and the Monday night football game. We'll have all the playbook video for all those. And then we're going to do the same thing like NBA. The conference finals are going to start soon. And for conference finals and the NBA finals, pretty much when we're going to have playbooks for all of those. But I think we're going to have a video for the ones that don't land on those island football games. So we'll have video content for some of the slates and a playbook. And then the other ones will still have a playbook. So ton of showdown content coming. And then we've got our, obviously our main slate, full content for NFL. That's, going to be all week, starting pretty much tomorrow and running through. I think we got a 12 o'clock DFS / sports betting show that we're going to run tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. I think that's going to run at noon. So check that out.
Better, because I'm doing it, aren't I?
Yeah, you're doing it.
I'm doing. Yeah, that's good. So that's it. Hey, Big T, man, this is it. You launched this thing. This is the time. This is the time we've been waiting for, dude. It's this week. It's like it might have taken a while to hit me, but this past weekend, that's when it hit me. Everything's going to be good again. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times. We're here. We weren't sure if football was going to actually go off. Looks like we're good to go. I mean, I'm excited too. We got some. How many milli makers this week at JSU? We got at least 5 or 6. I mean,
yeah, it's got to be at least across the sites. We got to have at least 5 or 6.
And there's just so many chances. If you've ever wanted to get on a heater, now is the time to get on a heater and just run. Like you hit the nuts this week, you're going to win a lot of money.
65 a month for the rest of your life. Like you could be alive in 2,200. 65 a month is going to be nothing. Nothing. Like with inflation, that's 10 cents. So if you're going to live to
200 for both too, you get the bet side too for that.
100 for both.
Yeah.
and $20 if you want to dip your toe in the water, but $100 for both. And the bet side, by the way, these guys are amazing. They're just crushing during baseball, college basketball. Now we're talking about football. Everything's good. All right, guys. The winner, and unless he's won before, Talon Bray. Kind of a badass name, Talon. You know, he's like a falcon or something. All right, guys.
A falcon?
Yeah, they have talons. You know, I got a falcon that hangs out by my house. It's pretty awesome, dude. He's a badass. For Big T and for JSU, and then for Captain back in the studio, I'm Holden. All the NFL stuff starting to roll out this week. Stick around for the baseball and the NBA. We ain't gonna help. We're not gonna hurt you. You're definitely gonna get helped out there. And I'm